Welcome to the Queer Body. I'm so happy to have everybody here. Just a reminder that we have launched our new website at thequeerbody.com. Make sure you put the in there, TheQueerbody.com. We will be offering classes starting in the spring. Hopefully, some of the wonderful people you've been listening to on the podcast will be teaching some of those classes. You are also welcome to join our community. We have 3 months of free membership for people who are interested. Just sign in and we'll give you that coupon. This afternoon, I am delighted to have a colleague and friend, Trinity, speaking to us, and I will have them introduce yourself. Welcome, Trinity.
Thank you, Laura. My name is Trinity, and I am joining you all on Miwok land, Southern Pomo and Grayton Rancheria in Santa Rosa, California. And just a little bit about myself. I currently work at Green Acre Homes in Sebastopol as a client service manager. And I've been with this agency for about 25 years. I'm a Kundalini Yoga teacher. I just show up and just do life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Best way that I know how to. Trust that everybody else is doing their very best.
I love that.
Yeah, which allows me to really work towards not taking life personally. It doesn't always work, but do my
You're
best.
human.
I do my best.
I hear that.
I really do my best, to just trust that everybody's showing up and doing their best, and I'm really showing up and doing my best at any given moment. And so that's where I am currently, is just showing up and doing my best.
Thank you. And just for our audience, I will say, Trinity and I have been meeting in all these wonderful classes. I have had the joy of taking Kundalini with Trinity, as well as doing some West African dance here in Santa Rosa together. And then the queer part, which we always start our show with, is, we're just getting to know each other that way. We were noticing each other from different communities. And so how would you define queer? What does being queer mean to you?
Laura, I've been thinking about this. And how do I define queer? So what came to me today, right? Because it's different depending upon the day for me. I haven't just landed in this, like, this is what queerness means to me, right? And so I take it to a spiritual place for me, right? And in Kundalini Yoga, we talk about the masculine and the feminine. And I've always feel like I've shown up very androgynous, so walking with my feminine and my masculine side, sometimes running more masculine, and other times running, a little bit more feminine. And so I see queerness for myself as being very fluid. So I don't just land in, right, I'm just masculine, and or I'm just showing up feminine within the queer expression. I flow in between both, and so queerness to me is really about being fluid, and appreciating the masculine and the feminine within myself. And I haven't always appreciated definitely the feminine side of myself. I could keep going. You ask me a question and I could just keep going on.
Yeah, well, I'm happy to jump in there with you, and that is that there's a couple things. I know you kind of more through a spiritual realm, but in the queer realm, when we're talking about masculinity and femininity, I don't know that people often think of queer as having anything to do with in this world, we would think gender, and I know because I know you from a spiritual community, you're not really speaking about gender. You're talking about something else. Will you kind of elaborate on that?
As I was thinking about it today, what I sense is like it's the feminine not the gender, but the feminine expression of life, of energy, of my beingness, right? And then the masculine. So the feminine is, the womb, the going within, the contraction, the contracting aspect of energy, and then the masculine is the out there and doing things. And so it's not, I don't really see it, I don't feel into it as much as gender as I do just energy.
Hmm.
Right? And
And what
then
on earth does that have to do with, like, like if I go into Target and I see a queer shirt with rainbow flags and crap like that? I
mhm,
mean, how is what you're talking about related to that?
um hmm well, that's a good question. How is it related, how is it related to queerness? Well, so I'm getting no, because I don't really think about, I don't tend to lean into the gender, or the hmm.
I think most people think of queerness as a sexuality thing, but one of the reasons I started the Queer Body podcast
Mm-hmm.
is that the younger generations are thinking about queer in relationship to, gosh, Trinity. At one moment, I was like, I'm going to start calling myself peculiar.
Mm-hmm.
So what I hear you talking about is like some sort of being outside of the dominant paradigm.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of people, when they talk about masculine and femininity, think about the dominant paradigm. And so the queerness of that is like how we have taken that on as our own understanding of the union of those genders within your spirit, within your
Mm-hmm.
being.
Mm-hmm.
That in itself is a queering of an idea, is what I hear you saying. But I
Mm-hmm.
certainly don't want to put words in your mouth.
Yeah, I think that the stepping outside of the predominant right paradigm is definitely what I'm doing, because I again, the when I think of feminine and masculine, right, it doesn't energy, it doesn't lean into um the physical body, the gender, right, of the body.
Hmm.
Um and I walk with, right, with both the masculine and the feminine. Um and I think for myself, um I'm, how old am I? I'll be 54 this year, and it's been a journey, of not so much questioning, um, but sort of just letting in this place of just being okay, right?
Mm.
Just being okay with um, really not wanting to have any labels. I remember when I very first came out, and people were like, well, you're this or you're that, or this is when it was literally just you're lesbian, or you're gay man. And I remember just going, huh, I don't really like that.
Hmm.
Kind of boxes me into having to be, when I'm an androgynous spiritual being, that happens to be um, attracted, to women. Uh,
Hmm.
and Yeah, I kind of feel like I'm sort of trying to pull this together and, figure it out right now, because I don't really talk about this a whole lot
Hmm.
or discuss this, a lot. What I know is that when I sit in my spiritual practices and I hear my teachers talk about